What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another One Dream Fishing episode. Today we're kind of changing it up. As you can tell, we've had a lot of questions on TikTok about our arsenals and what they are, so today we're gonna do mine. Come on. So we're gonna start off with spinning rods. This is my Insight Pro Advantage. It's a 7'2". It's a drop shot rod, but I kind of use it as an all-purpose. On it, I have a Lew's Mach 2. This is a size 300, so it's a little bit bigger. And the reason I want a little bit bigger is with it being my all-purpose rod, I'm gonna throw everything from a Senko on here on a wacky rig. I can throw blade bait. I can throw a Nico rig. It's kind of my all-purpose finesse thing. So I can, a wide variety, even swim baits on Smith Lake I've thrown on here. So it's kind of your variety combo. To keep going with the spinning rods, yes, I only have two, but this here is my baby. I just got her recently, been getting new in the drop shot game, so I had to upgrade. Right here is a Phoenix Feather 7'1". It is super light. There's a reason they call it a feather. On it, I have a Shimano Sahara. This is the size 3000, allows me to get a little bit farther cast. And basically what I'm using this rod for is almost strictly drop shotting. I am a firm believer that if you take me with a drop shot anywhere in the country, you can usually get fish in the boat. And that's why I have an entire rod and reel dedicated to it, because I mean, just look at that tip. You can bounce it, bounce, 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 bounce. And that's the Phoenix Feather. All right, moving into casting. This is my jerkbait setup. As you can tell, there's no line on it because I have not done it in a while. But anyways, this is a Daiwa Laguna. It's just kind of your base price average reel, but it does a good job throwing a jerkbait. And then I have a Castaway Pro Sport Series 6'6". I like a little bit shorter rod, stout, allows me to throw the jerkbait where I want to, makes me have accurate casts, and I get the jerk I want on the jerkbait. Next, this is my baby of the casting reels. This is a Shimano Metanium DC. That's right, the best reel on the market. It is amazing. I absolutely love it, and I have this on a Denali Attacks. This is the Russ Lane cranking version. It's a 7'2" rod, and it does absolutely amazing with a square bill, a rock crawler. That's exactly why I have a jerkbait on here right now. But it also does well for a jerkbait. But this is kind of my all-purpose little crankbait rod, and it's just got a perfect tip, loads up, and I use this literally probably the most all over the country. You can throw a little crankbait, and that's the rod for it. All right, moving forward with the casting combos, I have a favorite Whitebird. This is 7'4" fast taper tip, and makes me able to fish a Senko, which is what I'm going to be throwing on here. Weightless Texas rig is about 99% of what this rod sees. This one is very specific for me. I have on it a 13 Fishing Concept TXZ. It's got a deep spool, allows me to make good casts on that. And like I said, that 7'4" kind of allows me to manipulate more, but still have a good backbone when I'm fighting Hydrilla Gorillas on Rayburn. This is my Shimano Curado 7'4" medium heavy moderate action rod. I use this mostly for shaky heads, football jigs, like your smaller football jigs. You can throw a spinnerbait on here. It's got that moderate tip, so it allows you to it's a very good all-purpose rod. And then paired on it, I have a Curado K. I absolutely love this thing. I have the most of these. I use them for everything from cranking to football jigs to spinner baits. I mean, literally everything. The thing I really like about this rod is it's got the cork all the way to the end, and it gives me just a little bit more sensitivity. Moving on, we're getting to my flipping setup. This is what I throw for just about anything flipping wise, all the way from flipping bushes on Sam Rayburn to flipping whatever garbage we find in Arkansas. I have a Shimano Curado. This is a 7'6" medium heavy, moderate fast action. Now, some of you may be asking, Jacob, what's a moderate fast? Well, it's basically not a moderate and it's not a fast. It's in the middle.
Got it.
So what that allows me to do is have a fast tip so I can feel the bite, but it also gives me a lot of backbone, which I like a ton. On this, I have a 13 Fishing Concept Z, bright and orange. And then another thing I really enjoy about this rod is it tapers down back here and it gives me kind of just a good sitting spot when I'm flipping. And that's something I really need. And I like it. It has a longer butt, which allows me to kind of have that like sitting position that I'm talking about, so I can get those good hook sets when I'm flipping and on the move. That is my flipping setup. Moving on from the flipping setup, we are to the punching. So this is my total beefcake. This is a TFO Pro 7.6 heavy with a fast tip, so it lets me feel those bites, but it's got a ton of backbone. I mean, this thing is literally a broomstick. On this rod, I have a Daiwa Tatula SV TWS with an 8:1:1 gear ratio, so it's fast, burns it in. On this, I have Seaguard flipping braid, and an interesting thing about this braid is it's actually, if you look at it under a microscope, it's got a jagged edge, so it actually lets you cut through stuff. So like wood and lily pads, I mean, it's not like a chainsaw, but you will cut through stuff when you're flipping that heavy cover. And same thing with my flipping rod, it's got a big butt, which allows me to have a good place to sit the rod and make those good hook sets, which you need when you are punching that thick stuff. All right, moving on, we are going to my Carolina rig setup. I know at the beginning, I said I really don't have a whole lot of technique specific combos, but turns out I actually do. This is a Shimano Corrado 7.5 heavy with a fast taper tip. Allows me to feel what I'm dragging through. And a good way to look at the Carolina rig is like you have your own pair of eyes down at the bottom. You get to map the lake and see what you want to see. If it's rock, if it's gravel, if it's mud, whatever it is. And that's why you want a rod with fast taper tip. On here, I have a Corrado K 7.4. I like it. I can winch them in. It's fast and it works. Going into crankbaits, this is my Lew's David Fritz Perfect Crankbait Speed Stick. It is a 7-11 medium heavy, moderate fast. It's another mix. And this is basically just my big plug chunking machine. I'll throw anything on here from a rattle trap to a 10XD. It can handle that. The rod has a very good range in what it can handle. And you really get to load up on those fish. I like to throw that rattle trap on here because when I'm ripping through grass, it's got enough backbone to get out. But also in the same sense with a 10XD, it doesn't feel like you are raking in a horse. On here, I have a Shimano Corrado DC. I think this is probably about your best big crankbait reel. You can literally, no matter the conditions, you can throw it into the wind as hard as you want with as big of a plug as you want, and it will perform. So going into Topwaters, we're gonna be looking at my frog rod. This is probably my oldest combo. On here, I have an Aber Garcia Vengeance. It's a 7.6 heavy. It does not have an action, it's just heavy. So I'm using this for literally any kind of frogging, popping, not popping, whatever kind of grass you want to go through. This is the combo. On here, I have a Quantum Kinetic PT. Fun story about this. This was actually my first casting reel purchase in 2007. Lil Jacob saved up his money and bought a Quantum Kinetic PT, and it has been cruising and catching biggins ever since. As you can see, it's got a little bit of wear on there, but she is still cooking and still a beast. That's what you want with a frog rod, just something that is reliable and will get the job done. Last but not least, we are finishing out with a Topwater. This is a 13 Fishing 7.6 medium, heavy, fast. This is what I use for basically all my kind of walking baits, maybe even throw a buzz bait on here. I have a Corrado K, same as the others. It's just a total workhorse of a reel. But I'll throw mono on this reel because I'm throwing them walking baits. I want them to stay on top. And this is actually what I caught our kicker fish at on Rayburn at our latest college tournament. So it is a workhorse of a combo, and that 7.6 Really allows you to get a good hook in those topwater fish and keep them rolling into the boat. So y'all saw it. That is going to conclude my arsenal of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is my total rod arsenal for going around the country fishing these tournaments. We're looking to add some more friends this season, but thank y'all for asking for this video. It was really fun to film. And if you want to see maybe Reese's or Mark's rod arsenals, please drop that in the comments. If you haven't already, go check us out on Instagram and TikTok under the same username, One Dream Fishing. But as always, thanks for watching. God bless and dream on, baby.